Freedom is not about traveling everywhere, coming to this place and thinking we are free. That's not freedom. Freedom is when you have a business which doesn't take you hostage, which doesn't take you basically into jail. So is then freedom the state of not being imprisoned or enslaved? I know a lot of entrepreneurs running multi-million-dollar businesses and they're not free. So what is the key fundamental, the key difference between being free and not being free? Super interesting to be on stage here. Patrick, thank you. I made it to the 12th mastermind. Before, he didn't want to invite me. I don't know why. So I had to improve a lot. And then I had 2 handicaps. Yesterday, we lost all matches. It's and we got number 4. And then I had to change the presentation to perform better today. So I worked on this motherfucking slides until 3 in the morning. So I said to Patrick, I need 10 more minutes because, I met a lot of people here, I talked to you guys, and then in some point you feel like, that content doesn't fit to this audience. And I like to, as a marketer, as an entrepreneur, I like to adopt my message to the audience. Do you know why? Because I want to give value. And here we have double value. Value for you, but value for your business. So, first of all, that was the key title because, after a couple of years in this bubble, in this market, I learned to talk about big numbers, but I'm not showing off. I'm not this person who's like, yeah, you need to do millions, you need to do that, and I'm driving a G, I'm wearing a Rolex and all of that. But the point is, sometimes you need these motherfucking details, otherwise you don't listen to me. That's my problem. So let's skip these slides. Let's even skip this. Elopage is making creating the economy. We do $630 million, euro in sales last year. Sounds like a very big number, but at the end of the day, we just do 0.02% of the German GDP. So there is still way to grow. So I'm running this company. This company is basically a checkout and sales platform to automate your sales and get your financials right. We have a lot of corporate success. Let's skip that. I love these guys, delivering freedom to entrepreneurs at scale. So this is my personal mission. So this is company number 7. I love it. So it's my company number 7. It's the first big scale-up that I could create. And day in, day out, I'm really motivated by these people because 99.9% of all my customers, and Patrick is going to be the next one, hopefully soon, are loving what they do. And this is motivating. This is really changing the world. So I want to ask you, what is freedom for you then? So I am motivated by one core value, which is freedom. And freedom is not about being in Bali and chilling out and just earning $300 and still being in a hamster wheel, but in a nicer place. Freedom is not about traveling everywhere, coming to this place and thinking we are free. That's not freedom. Freedom is when you have a business which doesn't take you hostage, which doesn't take you basically into jail. So is then freedom the state of not being imprisoned or enslaved? I know a lot of entrepreneurs running multi-million-dollar businesses and they're not free. So what is the key fundamental, the key difference between being free and not being free? And are we maybe sometimes losing that piece of freedom that we wanted to chase with our business, and all of a sudden we notice, my business is actually stealing my freedom. You should think about that. Sometimes taking a job is much better. I give 30 days holiday. People take time in Berlin on Mondays and Fridays, especially in Berlin because of Berghain. And I'm a good employer, so you can come work for me. I don't want that. You should be an entrepreneur. But being an entrepreneur then means, what do I do with my value of freedom? How can I become free? So when we then apply this logic of freedom, that's the ultimate reason why we founded our business, to our businesses, we get out one very simple tagline. All of us want more revenue. The problem with that is we only build it for revenue. And I have 70,000 entrepreneurs on my platform, maybe 5,000 or even 10,000 I know by person. And I talked on so many stages, I had so many individual conversations. Nobody is delivering or nobody is working to create company value. But when you then create company value, what happens? You know that there is a value asset, and when you look at it as an investor, there is a value asset growing. And you feel free because it's growing aside from your personal situation, emotional fluctuations, etc. It's growing. But when we only optimize for revenue, you know what happens? When you stop running in the hamster wheel, revenue goes down. And it doesn't matter how much revenue you do. I saw companies doing 500K, 1 million revenue per month. After half a year, they dropped to 50K. That was not a business. It was just a well-marketed product. So from the very beginning as a startup or as a scale-up founder, and by the way, these magazines I made up, okay, they're not real. So I write my own story. You just need Canva for it. It works. So I am into the valuation of $1.2 billion. This is what I work for. I'm not saying I'm going to do that much revenue. I am into 40 million recurring revenue. So we are more than halfway there. And recurring revenue and evaluation means that you create an asset value. And now I invest into companies, person brands, coaching businesses, and we even sold one to the fund of Odewald recently for $1.5 million. It was a small deal, but I had to get this $500 million fund to buy person brands. And the reason why we can do that is understanding sequential value creation. This is a SaaS funding napkin. So I talk to a lot of investors, and I know exactly what key metrics I have to develop to build a brand, to build a value business, and not just some revenue bullshit. All right? Are you interested in hearing some adopted stories to person brands, creators, service providers, so we can actually, as of today, stop thinking about just making revenue, but move over to creating a business that is valuable that you might sell one day? How does this sound? I didn't hear you. Sequence. Every entrepreneur today is going to hear 1 million tactics, AI, affiliate marketing, Rolf. You know, a lot of people are going to give you a lot of nice tips, and I love all of them. But entrepreneurship is mainly about sequencing. Can you decide out of those 1 million options, what are the 3 next steps? And when you then go to the 3 next steps you should be doing and forget everything else and just focus, radical focus, can you then create a sequential value creation? So, this is a very simple example of how I basically clustered the company faces on Elo page after millions of discussions. And I invested into 11 brands myself. Nobody knows these brands because I keep it highly, highly, highly secret. And looking at them, I really created this from product market fit to GTM fit and how we get recognized value creation. By the way, this is very critical. You don't have value and you don't have a company valuation when nobody pays for your stocks. So people hanging out there and saying, I have a $100 million business, that's a lie. Nobody bought a stock, so you are not valued. Very simple. That's why we have public markets and private money markets. So these are the company faces. Choose one of the face, and I tell you one of these focus points you're not doing, and you should be doing them. When you are from 0 to 500K, from 0 to when you are in the stage PMF, from 0 to 1 million, you should be radically focusing on selling your own product. You have to be selling your own product. And if you are the founder-led sales guy, or the marketing guy, works also, you have to radically look at unscalable sales, which is totally fine in the beginning. But people ain't making 10K and start automating everything. And then they recognize, oh my God, I have no idea who my customer is, why they buy my product, why they like it, why do they pay me? But they chill in Bali or come to expensive masterminds. Don't do this, guys. If you are in this stage, shut the fucking door, go into the dark and work your ass off. That's that phase. Nothing else works. And when you hire people, don't look for like the super intelligent guys. Look for the loyal people who can be assistants, videographers, people who write customers, support. You need all-rounders. So this is one of the most fundamental things that go wrong in the beginning stage. People don't want to go through hell, but they want to have heaven immediately. And this sucks. This is not entrepreneurship. Going to the GTM stage, start collecting data later. In the beginning, you have Excel, it's totally fine. What I find out is really a lot of people come up with a lot of tracking, but they just spend 5K on ads, so why do you even track that shit? You see 5K investment and you just see 20K revenue, that's your tracking. I mean, why do you do rocket science? Nobody cares. So, start repeating what actually worked. And then on the scaling part and stabilization part, I'm not going to talk a lot about this, but now let's go to value adders. So these were the company phases. You can have this slide. You can read about it. We can talk about it. But along the journey of your entrepreneurship, you have to be creating value. Value is not revenue, and I don't talk about customer revenue or customer value. I talk about company value. Because you know who your customer is? It's not the one who's buying your product. We keep hearing these stories. McDonald's is not selling burgers. They're into the investment game. And we are not applying this at all to our own case. Think about that. Who watched The Founder? You should watch it. You can save 2 years of business school with just that movie. So, value adder number 1, product market fit. So, first of all, learning number 1. This is what I learned also during the journey. Power belongs to the small until they lose that power. It's very interesting. So I know, for example, Sergey has started a small company. He's going to that HubSpot's CRM thing. He's really moving in it. He's really living and breathing in it. And I keep asking him, I see him now for 3-4 years. I keep asking him, what are you doing? He's like, still, HubSpot. I love that. And that's how he has built a repeatable business in that part and keeps recognized as a HubSpot CRM. Thank me later, man. I just needed a good case here. So power belongs to those who are small. But then we go to these nice events, we see these guys with Rolex and they shout at you, and then you end up building this huge ship. And you're like, I'm gonna be big. You look big, but you are small. You can look smaller than your size, it's totally fine. Be modest, be humble. Don't act like you're huge and focus on your key strength. Be a speedboat, it's fine. You're going to be checking out those small islands much faster than any other big guy can come in. The market is open, nobody's running away, you will outperform the inflation, the recession will be fine. But when you have found out a way, I talked to these guys recently, when you have found out a way and you make 50K, go in there, optimize, see where the value creation for the customer is, and never lose it. Don't get this shiny object syndrome. The Germans always look on the green garden of the neighbor and they're like, his garden is nicer than mine. I want to get my garden as such. Fuck you, look at your own garden. It's beautiful, focus on it. We lose focus too early, and the most fundamental thing you should focus on as a founder in the very beginning, 0 to 1 million, team, product, market fit. Do you have the right loyal team? Are you the right guy or girl? Are you on the right market? Work on that market thesis. Change your market if needed. Adopt it. The market will not change. Don't wait people to understand your product. Who knows these people? I created a nice product, but nobody understood me. Who knows them? Or who knows, Other people who had ideas of Airbnb, Facebook, Uber, who knows them? I know a lot of people. But it's not about the idea. Nobody gives a fuck about your idea. It's about execution. Execution's fundamentals, team, market, product combination. And you have to have a fit. And sometimes there is no fit. I could talk about this for 5 hours, but this is super, super simple. And I'm going to give you one very simple hack. I hate business plans. If founders cannot write me on LinkedIn or in an email or in a WhatsApp, just with this small size of a text, what the business sees with this, how they make money, what's the margin, what's the proof, why is it going to be on a big market, I don't even read it. They write this long text. And they write nice things about me, but not about their own business. It's very interesting. Hate business plans. Don't make business plans. Don't go on Excel. Don't go on presentations. You just need a one-pager. If your business thesis doesn't fit on a one-pager that you cannot chart on a sheet of paper, within 3 minutes, you don't have a business. I'm having this product, I'm going to sell it to this person, that's my value proposition, that's what they're going to pay me, and that's where the market is and how I'm going to attack it and grow it. That's it. That's all about business. Don't get lost in all of this tactical bullshit. So I call this concept one pen, one page, one pang. If you can prove me that, I invest in your business. Thank you, Ralph. I love you. Learning number 2, I have to speed up a little. You need the North Star metric from the very beginning. Usually I tell this about the next part. But people are revenue driven, and I hate revenue drivenness. Not because I don't like money. I'm making 25 million a year, and I'm going to hopefully do 100 million someday. But the problem is, if you start from this point of view, from the very beginning, you create the wrong culture. You just pull assholes in your business. You just pull wrong customers. You have salespeople that just sell for the sake of selling some deals, and then they try to get it financed by some other bullshit companies. And at the end of the day, you know what happens? You cheat your motherfucking self. Because you think I made revenue, I have success, and you will feel emptiness. Because there is only one reason why a company exists. It's not making money. It's about, 1, creating company value for the shareholders. Number 2, it's creating a non-revenue related metric that keeps growing and that keeps proving that this company is doing a good job. It's a North Star metric. At HelloPage, we do 20,000 to 30,000 transactions a day right now, and we want to do 1 million transactions because I believe in one key fundamental North Star metric, which is the ultimate truth in business to customer relationship. I want to always be in the middle of transacting between customer and seller and optimizing this, because that's a relationship I create at scale. These are some of big company North Star metrics. And you can also maybe learn for yourself, for your own business, if you're in service business, if you're in the coaching business, are you guys really selling online courses and giving any care what your customers are doing once you sold them and you automated access? Do you track how much do they interact? How often do they log in? Do they come back? Do they really get the knowledge? Are you interested in that transformation you were selling, you were marketing? Nobody really cares. People are just revenue. Nobody's really creating retention growth. But if you have acquired a customer, if you don't grow the LTV, you will always lose a lot of money. And with that North Star metric, you can organize everything around it because you say, that's what our religion is. We optimize value for the North Star. And revenue is just the price that you get paid for the value you created. But your value is the North Star. Connect your North Star to customer success and be dramatically obsessed with it. I'm radically not investing into any company that is not customer obsessed, where the founder doesn't wake up at 3 a.m. when shit is hitting the fan. Value added numbers 2, revenue growth, obviously. You're doing great in what you do until you stop, okay? So one of my key learnings is, oh, Chris, you're there. Look at you. Oh, Garrett as well. I just discovered. And you're as well. You're so famous, guys. All right. So before getting that investment, it's one of my learnings. I was creating like such masterclasses, webinars. I was going live so often. I was doing like a lot of nice games, launch campaigns. For the 3 hours we played in the office. What is the game called? Squid Games. And I was winning deals for the audience. And we made like 2 million in sales within 24 hours. It was amazing. I loved it. You know, you do a lot of great stuff, guys. Recognize yourself for it, because I didn't. Then we got this shitty investment from some investors, and then I got into the syndrome of the garden on the other side is nicer. So I looked at everything that other companies and founders were doing, and I forgot what actually made us great. So I stopped doing that, and I was investing in Barcelona, by the way, into the stupid booth, 300K, completely lost the money. We didn't even make one closed deal from this investment. Can you imagine? You know why this happens? Because you hate yourself. Because you don't like yourself. Because you're like, I'm shit, I'm making money, but he's better. He's doing better ads. He's having nicer membership areas. His car is nicer. And we start looking at everything what other people do great. And then all of a sudden I have a boost like Twitter or Facebook, but guess what? I'm not Twitter, I'm not Facebook. Didn't work. Value adders, so really keep doing what you do and grow with it, focus it. Then growth channels. Channel risks I did not care of. So, you know, in the beginning you grow very fast, and if somebody is telling you, hey, I'm doing 1K or 10K revenue, actually they're not telling. If somebody is telling you, we are growing 500% every month, wait, brother, hold on. Grow until 7, 8 digit, and let's see if you can take that pace on. So what I learned is, all of a sudden we were growing, and before getting that investment, I was doing like 7 million in revenue and 2 million profit back in 2020. And I did not take care of my channels because it was me. I was the key channel. I was like, I'm okay. But then my network and my superpowers were not enough to keep up that pace, because growing from nothing to something is 1,000,000%. But growing from 10 million to 20 million is only 100%. So building up that stack to actually grow further, I did not make. I had single channel risks, I had weak channel risks, and this was one of my overviews that I built in one of the board decks. So really be aware, once you get into the revenue of 2 to 3 million and beyond, be aware, what are your channels? And there is not much. As you take care of your products, as you take care of your marketing, you have to take care of your channel distribution. You have to exactly understand to whom you are selling and how you get to that customer, how you pull, and how you fulfill. And this was one of the stuff which I built later, and then I started experimenting. For example, my outbound channel was not existing at all. I was great in inbound because I was running a lot of webinars, but my outbound didn't work at all. And for the small customers, it doesn't work any case, but for the mid-level and for the enterprise, we started building it, and then I started hiring people so I could get another pace of growth and then keep investing in it. Honestly, to build like multi-million-dollar businesses, you don't need a lot of channels. You just need 2 channels. It's totally enough. Who has heard of EBITDA margins? Who is in business for longer than 3 years? 5? Okay, then you know why EBITDA margins are important. Most of us are in Germany. I didn't move to Dubai. I pay taxes in Germany. I'm proud of that. Look, guys, at the end of the day, it's not about revenue. It's about your EBITDA margin. I look at the investment cases. I look at the EBITDA, and I feel like, guy, what did you do? They took some factoring from somewhere. They sold their soul for cash, and they didn't think of, I have to do a yearly like balance. And all of a sudden, they noticed they made a lot of revenue. By the way, not only revenue, they made good liquidity. And then they noticed, oh, fuck, I actually never earned money. Because when the fiscal reality comes in, you know, it doesn't work. So this is something very, very, very critical you should keep in mind. You have to keep your EBITDA margins. And it sounds like an easy game to scale, learning 5. Frequency times volume divided by friction equals scalability. I have to speed up, I know. But money does not fix, Frequency times volume divided by friction equals scalability. It's easy, right? You spend more money, you make more money. But if you have inefficiencies in your company, money cannot fix it. And it's even more dangerous. You get liquidity, you get some factoring, you get all of that money, but you know what happens? You're still a dead company. A lot of people come to me and they're like, yeah, my customers don't pay, can you organize factoring? I'm like, what is the problem here? The problem is your customers ain't pay you because your value is shit. Your price is here, your value is here, you made a lot of anger, a lot of propaganda marketing, and you cannot close this motherfucking gap. And that's why people don't pay. I get really angry about this case. And it doesn't mean just getting liquidity from somebody fixes your business problem because you are in the valley of death. Good morning. And dangerous potential for psychological controversy as money is key reward. If you're not optimizing for North Star, just getting money, you know what happens? You're dead. Because you get the reward for value you didn't deliver. Deliver value. And your business truth and operational reality will catch up with you guys. I really mean it. I really get angry when I see cases. I'm like, wow. And any company builds debts, customer debt. How many people of you sell stuff you don't deliver? All of a sudden, you know what happens? You feel a debt to the customer. He has power on you. There is a lot of debt, tech debt, I have so much tech debt, but that's okay. So watch your debts, and please don't become zombies. Fix this, work on it, don't wait to get bailouts. You are an entrepreneur, it's your problem to fix your case. Don't become zombie companies, they're super dangerous. So scalability then means EBITDA, net growth, retention, LTV to CAC ratio, and a great team. Then you can scale. Work on the right part, and I tell you the left part will work out. These are some fuck-ups that I had. All right, I hired a CTO too early. I implemented the CRM system for 4 years, never worked out. I made stupid deals, but probably there are also your fuck-ups. Look at it. So key men versus strong risks. If you are the best in your team, you're not good enough to be an entrepreneur. Bad news, you're not the king, you're not amazing. When you pass away one day, you die, nobody is gonna give a shit after 3 months. My dad passed away 4 months ago. That's reality, guys. So we're gonna all die. So what do you wanna have? All the value for yourself and bring it to the grave? Or do you wanna actually have people work on your dream when you're gone? Best teams win sooner or later. One thing for sure, they win. And now here's the key question. Can you find more joy in growing people and leading them to success? Or are you stuck in your own body? You know, I find a lot of reason and a lot of joy when I see Niklas, Cheyenne, and Laura succeed. So I'm like, they're doing better than me, and it was hard time for me to learn this. So when you hire initial people, but also when you grow the team to 20, 30 people, guys, do you feel joy in seeing them succeed without you? I go into so many rooms where we have so many customers I don't know, and they don't know me. I love it. They have to know them. Optimize for time to X value. This is something I will skip quickly. Market potential. Now I come to one of the last learnings, guys. When you want to add value to your company, when you now come to me and say, hey, can you invest in your company, or to any other investor, there's one very, very fundamental thing. Are you on a big enough market? A lot of people are great here. I know Sasha very well. He's great. I know Chris. I know Patrick. I know some of you guys. But most of you are hanging on small markets. And you feel like, I'm not growing. And all of a sudden, you start optimizing some stuff, and you're like in some other country, some other markets. That level of effort would bring so much more money, so much more revenue, so much more value. I saw it in the US. We go to the US, I'm like, really, this is the complexity? We can solve this, and it's a 10x market. So let's bet. I love this guy. So, let's bet. As an entrepreneur, guys, you have secure bets, day-to-day business, okay? Tactical. Are you stuck in that day-to-day thing? Or are you working on your big bets? Big bets mean product innovation, large-scale campaigns, new startup, new management team, simple company acquisitions. Have you actually thought about buying companies? It's easy. It's not that difficult. Do you work on crazy bets? My crazy bets, banking license, extension of C-level, US and LATAM expansion, and I acquire companies. This year we buy 3 companies. We closed 2 already. We're going to announce it in the next 4 weeks. So we're going to buy more companies. I'm buying companies because I want to go crazy, because I felt like I lose so much time on the secure bet side. Because I go into the company and you're busy, but you exactly know everybody else can do that. So that's my share right now. 40%, 40%, 20%. And beforehand it was 90% on the left. And you can grow much more with big bets and crazy bets, and that's why we are in here. Crazy bets need massively huge markets. This is my market. So if I take all the creators, all the payment processing volume, it's 100 million a month. It's nothing. I cannot build $1 billion business in this. So I have to go global, or I have to choose a bigger market. So choose bigger markets. Once you fix your case, you're 3 to 4 million, 5 million, choose a bigger market. And there is one truth. And now I want to share this truth with all of you, and it's painful. And this one is really painful. But at the same time, it's something we love. The reason why all of you are here is because you are addicted to the unknown, which we bet to make known produces endless unknowns, the game we love. Be aware of this, and whilst doing that, please create a lot of value. So, compounding your value, 2 last messages and then I'm done. The number of mistakes you make and the sum of the compounding learnings ultimately define the magnitude of your compounding entrepreneurial value as long as you keep showing up. If you don't keep showing up, all of that learning in the history, all of the value that you created in the history is going to go to 0. So keep showing up. And Andreessen Horowitz is probably the best investor in this world. He's my idol. I hope I get a chance to have a mastermind with him, or I would pay really €1 million just to learn from this guy. And in his book, and that's my last words, The Hard Thing About Hard Things, everybody should read that book. He's just quoting when he was asked, what is actually the greatest CEO trait that you can actually bring? And he says, beyond all of the tactical and strategic wisdom that people bring, there's one segment of CEOs that go great, which are those ones that don't quit. So in that journey of your entrepreneurship, value creation, and company asset value creation, guys, don't quit. Thank you very much.